ripping and roasting. Yeah, that's what we do. Set 'em up, knock 'em down, make that cherry glow. Whiskey and cigars, the gentleman's cologne.
Cheers, y'all.
Well.
Sounds like a party just about to happen.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this fine radio program, podcast, and video extravaganza known internationally as the world-famous Smokin' and Toastin'. Welcome to the program. It's show number 457. We are all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And at the advice of our lawyers, I have forgotten to turn my phone off. I really thought that I did. I apologize. At the advice of our,
that's your car warranty about to expire.
At the advice of our lawyers, I did want to remind you, please do not listen to Smokin' and Toastin' if you are allergic to Smokin' and Toastin'.
That's
or
good
any of the
advice.
ingredients.
Apparently we have to do that now. Show number 457. We are going to be talking today about the 13 most important American whiskeys. So that should be fun to talk
There's
about.
no, like, right now at the end of that?
Well, no, the 13 of all time up to now, I guess, American whiskeys.
Okay.
So I guess there's a right now implied as in, it's happening at this moment. But in any case, guys, welcome to the show. We want to say a big thanks to last week's special guest, homebrewers Danny Blankenship and Michael Cavanaugh. And they were such wonderful guests that one of them has crashed the party again.
We got Pod Crash today.
Yeah, we got Pod
crashing.
today. Only apparently the name has been changed because it's now Jerry Hattrick,
yes,
according to your shirt. So,
yes.
So welcome back. I'd like to just say, and we got to the studio to do the show, and here he was, and I was overjoyed, not only because we didn't actually have a guest scheduled for today, but also that the person that pod crashed was not Alan Denning. Because usually he's the pod crasher.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so this will be fun. You even brought something with you, didn't you?
I did.
That's a man who knows how to pod crash.
It looks very hazy. He's not the guy who crashed the podcast. He's the guy who brought beer.
Right.
Exactly.
So it looks very hazy and interesting, and I can't wait to get to it. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be one of your favorite styles.
Oh, okay. Well,
with a little twist.
I'm down with that.
A little twisted.
Speaking of styles of beer, we'll be trying a modern Pilsner today. I don't know exactly what makes it modern, but that's what they call it. From the brewery called Pondaseta in Canyon, Texas, the Pondaseta Brewing Company. We'll be trying their Crispy Ship. It is a modern Pilsner. Nice. So we're looking forward to that. The return of Mikerphone Brewing to the show. These guys always do something interesting, and in this particular case, they've done an interesting double dry hopped pale ale called Slim Hazy.
Nice.
So we look forward to that. And then finally, from the home Voodoo Brewing Company, just in time for the sort of Halloween to Thanksgiving time frame, we'll be trying their beer called Caution. Contains real pumpkin.
Well,
Caution contains real
it's a
pumpkin.
fun
Well,
bottle.
wait, wasn't that last week?
Well, I brought it last week just in case we needed it. But we didn't need it. So I brought it back this week because I thought this is going to be interesting because I don't think I've ever tried one of these before. It is a barrel-aged pumpkin barley wine.
I mean, you had me at Barleywine.
Yeah, I know. That's why I saved it till last. I was trying to, keep the best part to last. They're from Meadville, Pennsylvania, home Voodoo Brewing Company. So, pretty excited about. I think it's just Voodoo Brewing Company. I don't know why I have the word home in there, but anyway, we'll be trying that and some tequila. The extra anejo from Luna Azul. So this is pretty exciting.
Tequila.
We haven't had tequila on the show in a while, so lots to look forward to, including, by the way, our most popular segment on the show, which we do in the second hour. It's a little thing called Drinking News, and our Drinking News teaser headline for you today: Smashing Pumpkins and Monkeys, the greatest drinking news ever.
That does sound pretty awesome.
It does. I can tell I whetted your appetite for that. We'll also bring you the drunken fact in the first segment here, or the first couple of segments at least. And our drunken fact teaser headline, once Ian picks up the ukulele once again. show's not the same without music at this point. You know what I mean? Music feeds the soul.
I was communicating with Chris Hart over here. I'll turn that off for a moment.
Okay, good. Because it's Chris Hart. Good. Our Drunken Fact teaser headline for today is, let's do that again. Whatever you do, don't shoot at the grainy guy in the costume.
Rainy guy.
The grainy guy, yeah. So
Okay.
that's
The
coming up.
grainy guy.
We'll tell you about some cigars to watch for, and I really want to get into this today. Almost did this as the title of the show, but I couldn't figure out a catchy way to phrase it, so I just went with the article we'll discuss about the 13 most important American whiskeys. But there's a debate raging at breweries right now. Raging, yes. Raging makes it sound right now. It's one of those kind of words. No, there's a debate, seriously, that is kind of going around the brewery circles, and it has to do with breweries and tap rooms and how some of them have elected to say after a certain time each day, whether it be 6 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever, no kids at the tasting room. And so some people think this is a
I've seen
wonderful
this.
idea. Some people think it's a terrible idea.
I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, so I thought we'd talk about it today.
Oh, well, we'll talk about it right now.
Well, we can talk about it whenever we can talk about
I
it
didn't know
now.
if this was a talking point for later, a talking teaser, or a talking point for now.
Talking
Well, I
teaser.
started it as a teaser, but if you've got thoughts, we might as well go into it.
I have at least two thoughts, and one of them, well, we're not going to talk about that, but I'm willing to bet that the people that don't have kids are pretty happy about that a little later.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Some of the people that have kids might be happy about that. Well, no, I'm just joking.
Well, but they might be.
Obviously,
They might-
you can tell where that line's going to be. Who's
Sure.
who's happy about having to take their kids home at that point or not?
I guess some of the reason why is just because of the fact that there's alcoholic beverages being sold, but some of it has to be about, what kind of vibe you want to create at your
I
your
think that's
place.
what it is, because they even do that at Cidercade, and that's everywhere, and it's an arcade, so it's got that whole
The old
have
kid
kids-
vibe,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
got that
yeah.
whole kid vibe to it. And I don't go out a whole lot, but I've been at Cidercade when they did that at 8:00, and that's one of the ones, and they cut it in, and it didn't really. It didn't really do much at that particular place. I mean, there was a few people that had little kids, and they were asked to get out. They didn't really ask teenagers, even if they didn't have they had the non-drinking band on.
Right.
They didn't really make a big deal about it. They were, as long as everybody was cool, but at the same time, I mean, it was an arcade place, so it didn't really change it a whole lot.
See, I like the idea of it at Cidercade because that way you can go later when kids aren't allowed, and it'll keep you from having some 13-year-old just absolutely kick your ass on asteroids.
Destroyed.
Yes. I mean, it's like, you ever do that? You stand there and you go, well, I did pretty good. And there's this little kid waiting, and they step up to the machine and own it for 2 hours.
Let me show you how to do it.
I'm on my first life.
It's amazing.
I just have one quarter.
Yeah.
That's all
I
I
wonder
need.
though, on the serious side, if breweries may have even noticed, maybe if there's a safety issue for kids, maybe if parents are staying drinking too long.
Because they've got their kids with them and they don't need to get home to. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think that on the parents, though, you do have to be, like you watch what you're doing. Like
Yeah,
I
you
was
have to
there.
be
it didn't-
diligent, right?
Yeah. You're already watching what you're doing.
My take on it is a pretty democratic one, and that is that I think if there are certain breweries that want to do that, they should do it. And that might mean that some parents with kids who want to be able to take their kids with them to the tap room, they won't go to that brewery. They'll go to another one. And then there might be some people who prefer the no kids at night that'll seek
gravitate
those out.
towards those.
I think you're right, because
Yeah.
it's offering options to everyone. I mean, some people might care for it and some people might not, so it offers options. I think that's
I
great.
think a lot of it's about catering to your audience.
Yeah,
what's
sure.
coming in at what times.
Yeah.
Daytime you're going to have maybe more families, and the evenings you get more singles and such. So, catering to your audience and understanding your business.
Yeah.
Back when the smoking ban started to happen, I lived in Boston at the time, and Boston was a place where before that passed, you could smoke in bars. And
And Boston people are really known for being quiet and not speaking up
yes,
against
not
things.
yeah,
that's right.
exactly. But when they passed the legislation, I said, "This is crazy. I have a simple solution to this, because there were people who were saying, "Oh, this is the best thing ever. Now I can go to bar. I don't smoke. Now I can go to bars, not be bothered by cigarette smoke." And then on the other side, you had bar employees who were saying, "Hey, this is hurting our business. People aren't coming in as much." And so I said, "There's a simple solution. The government should just simply give you a tax break if you decide to go non-smoking. And then the bar owner could decide, hey, do I want the tax break? Or do I want to stay a smoking allowed establishment and think I might make more money that way?"
To both sides.
That makes way too much sense right there.
Right.
That is entirely too
and
much
then
sense.
you as a consumer could choose which one.
And how does the government make money on that? See, therein is the problem, right?
Well, I suppose... Well, I suppose if overall revenue goes down because people stop going to bars as much because they can't smoke while they're there and they're smokers, then maybe tax revenue goes down. So I would hope it'd be a thing that would even out.
The thought would be that you would give a tax break, but that bar would then think it would make enough money that it would still have to pay you more taxes.
Yeah, there's two sides to that. You would have a
bar
bar that people would exclusively go to because it's non-smoking.
Right.
Or you'd have a bar that people would go to exclusively because it is smoking.
Right. And it seems to me like that's, like you said, that makes too much sense. Why didn't they do it?
Right.
Well, because
instead
it made
of
too much
whenever
sense.
they passed that ban
You're arguing
in Houston,
with logic, sir.
whenever they passed that ban in Houston, then everyone just went to the marquee.
Right.
Because it was technically not Houston.
One of the
And
things
smoked that place out. Like, you couldn't even walk in there. It was so, but that's fine if that's what you want to do and you're a smoker.
Yeah, it is kind of weird sometimes when I'll go to a place that's outside the Houston city limits. It's maybe in
And they're still
Cypress or
smoking,
whatever,
yeah.
and people are still smoking in the bar. It's weird now.
I'll go out to Cypress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get used to, but I don't know. I just think sometimes the simplest solutions could be the best, and why not give people a choice?
Weirdly enough, this was just a few months back. We went to a bar in Tomball. Sorry, not Tomball, Pearland, just outside of Houston, and it was a smoking bar.
Yeah.
Really?
And I looked at the bartender. I said, "Can we smoke cigars in here?" And she goes, "Yes, but probably should stay over there by the pool tables." We're like, "Hell yeah!"
I like pool tables.
I did not know they had that in Pearland.
No problem.
One of the things that the smoking ban it helped to usher in, and you can really find this in Austin, is the rapid rise of rooftop spots on bars and stuff, because you can go up to the rooftop outdoors and smoke.
It's outside.
Of course, when it's 108 degrees in the middle of the summer in Austin, that's not necessarily
rooftops
a
not
great
Your cigarette
friendly
self-ignites. Your self-lights itself.
It's a slightly hostile environment.
I just take my glasses.
Need a light? No, I'm just holding it up to the sun. That's okay. I'll get it done this way. Well, so it seems to me that back to the ban on kids after hours. It does seem to me that this kind of thing works itself out naturally, right? Some choose to, some don't. It's not like it's become a law. When it becomes a law, that's when I start to get a little frustrated.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, you would assume that your staff and your ownership there at the brewery would look and see what's happening.
Right. Is
If
this
people
helping
are
us or hurting
complaining
us? Yeah.
And stuff like that, that's the thing. But if no one's ever complaining and people come there because they can bring their kids, hey, maybe that's your business model.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be back to start some tasting here momentarily. Also find out what Ian had to smoke this week, because I'm always curious, especially when you go digging down to the bottom of your humidor, which I have a feeling you might have done this week. So we'll be right back to talk about that. This is Smoking and Toasting. We're all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars, and we will be right back. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. Welcome back to the program. We are about to try something that's been poured and smelling like Fresca.
Also
sitting here in
known
front of me.
as what's it got in its pockets?
Yeah, exactly. And also known as the beverage of mystery. Now, the concept of this feature is simple. One of us will bring a beverage in and keep it a secret. The only person who knows what it is the person what brung it.
Fresca.
Today, that would be me. And then we'll taste it kind of sight unseen. get our feedback, and then we'll reveal what the beverage of mystery actually is. Sometimes it's a beer, sometimes it's a cider, sometimes it's a seltzer, sometimes it's
Floor cleaner.
Malort. It just depends. So
Sometimes it's fabuloso.
It smells exactly like Fresca. It does have that grapefruit type. So it
Yeah,
could
this
be
is-
something
this is
grapefruit, but
definitely
it's very
citrus.
Fresca.
Yes.
I get the grapefruit kind of lime vibe from this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
could
smells
be.
actually pretty okay.
Yeah,
it does, really.
damn shot better than last week.
Well,
Actually,
we didn't know you
tastes
were going to
okay.
be here this week, so
Yeah, right.
we brought a good
Had
one.
we known you were going to be here, we'd have brought the new double barrel aged Malort. So
Well,
I'm a little
you should have
confused.
paid more
I'm a
attention
little
to Ian.
confused because I'm drinking the beverage of mystery, and I actually kind of think it's okay.
Yeah.
What
it
is
has a lot
happening here?
less
It
taste than it
happens.
has on the nose, though. It's a lot lighter on the taste than it is on the
Yeah,
nose. I
yeah.
think.
No, but this in a glass of ice with a straw would last
Right.
about 13 seconds.
I am wishing this was a little colder.
Agreed.
I think
Like
it would
on
be better.
ice would be real nice.
There is no aftertaste of aspartame.
It's got
or
just the
Carsa sweet.
tiniest hint of artificial sweetener, but it doesn't linger. So that keeps
I
it from
kind
being
of get
annoying.
that, but it's not like part of the palate. I think it's not part of the. I like the way it smells. Actually,
Any
Yeah. It smells good.
any questions?
Well,
is that a beverage of mystery in your pocket, or are you just happy to be here?
Well, both are true, and I've slightly banged up the beverage mystery can. But we are drinking an Oho Botanical pink grapefruit and elderflower THC seltzer.
What a bizarre little can.
Yeah, and a bizarre combination too: pink grapefruit and elderflower. All I can think of is. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smells of elderberries. Or I don't know if I get the mother and father transposed there or not, but having just watched that movie recently when I went to
little
see
Monty Python
John
there for
Cleese,
you.
it's like so, but I'm not even sure what elderflower is, but I do know what grapefruit is, and it does really taste like grapefruit.
Nails grapefruit, yes.
You know,
Yeah.
elderberries have to come from something.
so they come from elderflower.
Yeah, elderly
Elderflower.
people. I don't know.
Elderly
So
You know, like this
it's
actually.
zero calories and carbs.
Okay, so I think this might be the best tasting THC seltzer-ish thing we've
Oh,
had
it's a
on there.
THC seltzer.
Yes. Now we had, I don't know if you remember this, but a month or two ago, we had the Strawberry Buddy. Do you remember that? That one was pretty good
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
Was also a THC seltzer and also didn't have the aftertaste and was pretty palatable.
And we also had one. There wasn't a THC one, but we had a seltzer that was a sparkling water, basically dark cherry sparkling water that was with vodka, and it was quite good.
Yep. We've had. I remember
But that was
that
no sugar
Neutral.
added.
That was.
I think Neutral was the name
Yeah.
of that one. But yeah, you're absolutely right. What I like about this is that it's simple. It's just the flavors and the seltzer. It's
Yes.
not a lot of other stuff added to make it all,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ian.
Also, it doesn't smell weirdly weirdly skunky or anything.
Right, and that can happen sometimes with these beverages too. I think that beverages like this are going to really drive the THC beverage craze.
Yeah.
The ones, because we've had some that were like the root beers and the things like that had THC in them, and they were just not as good. The
Some
seltzer
of them
seemed
tried
to be
to.
the
That is
right way
unless
to
Dan
do it.
Patrick kills all the fun.
Was this easy to
Absolutely.
find?
Yes, you can find this at Specs or probably Total Wine as well.
Okay.
So it's easy enough to find, and these things are skyrocketing in popularity. By
Yeah.
the way, so
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
that.
As long as, like he says, Dan Patrick doesn't get in the way.
Ian, we've only got a minute and a half left in the segment. I don't know if that's enough time to do your cigar review or whether we should wait. But
I mean, I could try burning it down, but there's going to be some fun made of this one.
okay, then I think we should wait until we can,
Properly enjoy the fun.
enjoy the fun. Yeah. So I tell you what we'll do. We'll go ahead and take a break here in just a moment, and then we'll when we come back, we'll take a look at what cigar you've had. We'll get into our first beer, which I think is going to be this Crispy Ship Modern Pilsner from Pondaseta Brewing Company in Canyon, Texas. And who knows, we might even Might even venture into the list of the 13 most important American whiskeys. So that's something we can
most
that we
important
can look
American
forward to.
whiskeys.
You okay there?
Yeah, I have had the worst allergies the past couple weeks. I've been having to take the Claritin Zyrtec thing, and
Yeah. One of the things we do not have in the studio that I wish we did is a cough button.
I know
Which you
I
could
do.
hit and turn off your mic
I
if
can
you had to
turn mine
cough,
off
right?
at least.
Right.
And I do, but that's I do.
Wait, that's my mic.
I need to write that down. We're going to renovate the studio. I need to write that down. Cough buttons for all.
Well, write this down too, because I think not only do we need a cough button, but it might also be good if we had
I
a
know where
fart
it's going.
button.
A fart.
You know, that way, if you need to let one rip and you don't want it to be heard, on the air.
Oh, I thought you were talking
just-
about a button that makes a fart sound.
Oh well, there's that
they're
too.
even better.
Yeah,
We
that-
can do both of those.
That would be even more. Yeah, cough keeps you from hearing the cough. Fart creates the sound so that you don't have to.
Just don't get them mixed up when you're about
That's
to
right.
do.
That's right. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right.
And it just sounds like my dad trying to
this
cover
is-
up a fart with a cough.
This is so sad.
Oh
this
man,
is,
dad
this,
stories. Oh
this
god.
is what we have
I've
devolved
become
into
that in
by
my
the second
house.
by the second segment. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back with the Cigar Review next. I promise. It's Smoking and Toast. Yes, welcome back, my friends. This is Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. Thank you for being here and enjoying the program with us. At least we hope you're enjoying it. We've got cool stuff like the music for the Beverage of Mystery sounder, which is called The Visitor. It's by Shane Ivers at chosic.com, and we have to give Shane props every once in a while for allowing us to use that spooky and eerie Beverage of Mystery
Thank you
music.
for that.
So, thank you, Shane. Ian, you have an opportunity to smoke something interesting this week.
It's funny you should ask.
Yep.
So,
Intended to ask in the last segment, but
so Punch puts out different cigars with different themes from time to time,
Yep,
right?
they sure do.
And recently they had one called, this was I think last year, they had one called Dad Bod.
I remember that.
Right, and then they had Dad's Home Movies that came in the
Right,
VHS
it came in the
tapes.
VHS tape,
Both
yeah.
of those were fantastic cigars. But the one that I missed out of that trio of cigars that they released was Mr. Punch's Weiners.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Punch's Wieners came packed, 10 to a pack, and came packaged looking like hot dogs.
This is not a drinking news story, is it?
Probably could
Kind of
be.
sounds like one, yeah.
Nope. And these were closed at both ends.
Okay.
So they literally look like wieners. They had a
Okay.
band in the middle. One side of it was red, one side of it was blue. And that's because the wrapper is an Ecuadorian Sumatra seed, the binder is American broadleaf, and the fillers, one half of the cigar is filled with a Dominican Andulo filler. I don't know how to pronounce that any better than that.
Yeah.
The other half of the cigar is a blend of Nicaraguan, Honduran, and Dominican tobaccos.
So it's half of the cigars one blend, half the cigars another.
Right, and it's capped at both ends.
Okay, so
you can choose which side to light it from. Now, I lit mine. Well, let me just go. The appearance on this oily chocolate brown wrapper, single label in the center, nice and dense feel overall, and the band in the middle of it says "smoke from either end," and it's half blue and half red. The pre-light sniff on this: sweet barnyard mocha on the red side, sweet grass fire on the blue side.
Okay.
Pre-light, sorry, I used the V-cut, and it had no draw because the other end
end
was
is closed.
completely
Yeah,
closed.
Sure.
So there is no pre-light draw to speak of with this. I went ahead and lit the blue side of this. I heated the end. I lit it. The draw opens up to a light draw. Lit the blue end. Solid pepper note coming out, cedar and bullion. The first third of this cigar, bullion and cedar dominate the palate with leather, coffee, sweet earth. Retrohale delivers solid black pepper, rich earth, sweet cream, and leather. Solid ash, uneven burn to begin with. Proposed pairing on this, well, Christmas ale.
Oh.
Why? Because I had Christmas ale, and it went well with this cigar.
Good.
And also, because I didn't want it to be such a singular thing, I also got a Weller special reserve to go with it, and which was quite nice. The second third of the cigar, sweet coffee and cream with a touch of leather and classic tobacco. Mocha and pepper make up the backbone. Sweetness and black pepper notes weave throughout. Retrohale's woody and sweet with a kiss of black pepper. Solid ash, perfect burn.
Okay.
I didn't tend to burn. It just worked itself out that way. The last third of the sweet, creamy, and nutty notes evolve into the defining characteristic of the last third. Toast and a powdered sugar sweetness take over the palate with an underlying spiciness. Toast and sweet coffee lingers on the palate. Basically till the end of the cigar. Solid ash, perfect burn. Price to quality. As far as I can tell, when you divide it up, this is about a $7, not quite an $8 cigar.
Okay.
It's fantastic. I'm going to give it a 6. At that price,
Wow.
it's a solid 6. And I have a second one, which I will smoke from the other end and talk about next week.
All right, so my question would be, how much of a difference did you notice when it burned to the halfway point?
Right here.
And the blend changed.
The second third of this started picking up some woody sweet notes towards the end of the second third of this, but the last third of this was completely different cigar. Like I said on here, now it's sweet and creamy and nutty notes evolve into the defining characteristic of the last third. Toast and a powdered sugar kind of sweetness take over on the palate. I mean, it was very different.
So it might be kind of a novelty, I guess, but it still
It's
sounds
a great cigar.
really cool.
And like
yeah.
I said, I have 2 of these. Alan Denny, as a matter of fact, gave these to me. I have 2 of these. So the other one I will review next week, lit from the red end instead of the blue end.
Okay, cool. I like it. Well, I had an interesting one this week that I wanted to tell you about, and it was one I had never heard of until I came across it online and bought it. The brand name is Jazz Some Kral. Kral. I'm sorry, I mispronounced. Jazz, J-A-S. Second word, Some, S-U-M. Third word, Kral, K-R-A-L. It's like they combined several different languages into one name. But Jazz Some Kral is the brand name of the cigar, and the name of this particular stick is the Tyrannical Buck, B-U-C, Maduro Generosos. So this is the Jazz Some Kral Tyrannical Buck Maduro Generosos.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And you've just now gotten through the name of the cigar.
I know. And I'm not sure what a tyrannical buck is. And maybe it's Baker Mayfield when he's really mad. I don't know. But in any case, I smoked it, and it's different, and I want to talk about it. First of all, the word generosos may be a little bit confusing because that sounds like you're thinking this is going to be a big, like, monster, fat cigar, Generosos, right? Not the case. The Jazz Some Kral Tyrannical Buck Maduro Generosos is, in fact, 5.5 inches long with a 40 ring gauge. So it's almost, you're expecting it to come out of a tin. It's so small. You know, it's
they can't even put the whole name of the cigar
right.
on it.
That's exactly right. Instead, they have what looks like a T-Rex head on the band. You'll have to check it out in the pictures here. Anyway, very nice looking cigar. Besides that T-Rex skull on the band, it looked pretty delicious. Dark brown outer wrapper, which is Connecticut broadleaf, binder from Nicaragua's Jalapa Valley, and fillers that include tobacco from Nicaragua and Pennsylvania. The cigars are rolled at Jazz Some Kral's factory in Esteli, Tabacalera de Aragon, which now sounds like you're bringing in Norse mythology to the whole thing. I will admit to not being familiar with Jazz Some Kral.
I've never heard of it.
But the pre-light sniff gave me hints of toast and leather, along with an earthy undertone. The cold draw was much the same, except for a tiny hint of pepper. I used a V-cut and lit this little beauty up. The first puffs were all leather. Really interesting. I'd never had a cigar open with leather that way. I'd almost expected a Nicaraguan pepper blast, but I kind of got a leather blast instead. Once it settled down, the leather continued, but it was joined by chocolate and black coffee notes that permeated the first third.
Sounds like the what was that? Eddie Murphy Raw.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of leather going on.
A lot of leather, yes. Purple leather, as I recall. Construction seemed good, and the burn line was reasonable. Didn't take me long to hit the second third of the Jazz Some Kral, and what I started to notice as the cigar smoked was a kind of a light creaminess on the finish. The primary notes continued to be leather, chocolate, and coffee, with a tiny hint of pepper creeping in every once in a while. By the final third, cigar hadn't changed too much in terms of complexity, but the flavors I was getting were still very pleasant. Strength was right at medium. Flavors were full, although not as complex as I was expecting. Usually the hallmark of these small batch boutique type brands is the level of complexity from some of the smaller harvests of specific tobacco. But here the flavors, while rich and enjoyable, were pretty straightforward without a lot of morphing back and forth. Suggested pairing, something lighter, maybe a nice Kolsch with a little bit of a snap on the finish, and maybe something like a Planere Isle of Fiji rum would work too. The sweetness would pair nicely. Smoking time came in just under an hour. Overall, it was an hour pretty well spent. That said, the Jazz Sum Kral Tyrannical Buck Maduro Generosos was not as adventurous as I was expecting. Cigar retails for about $6 a stick, but you can find it cheaper, around the 4 to 5 range if you look. At $6, a reluctant 5. And, even though I can think of a few other smokes that are better in that price range, at least to my palate, but at 4 to 5, now you're talking a pretty good deal. And anytime you can get a $4 to $5 cigar that's smokable, you gotta give it something. So at that price, I'll give it a price to quality rating of 6. And for anyone who's new to the show or doesn't understand the price to quality, it is a 1 to 10 scale, but a 5 means you got what you pay for. So if a cigar gets a 6, like you gave yours, or like I gave this one at a $4 to $5 price range, means it kind of outperformed its price range a little bit. Not the most complex cigar I've ever smoked, but very pleasant. Good, as long as you like leather, you're in for it. And that may say a lot of other things about you that we won't get into at this particular point in time. But anyway, that's my take on it. What do you think?
It sounds actually quite interesting. I'd never heard that. Where did you even get that cigar?
I got it at Cigar Page.
At Cigar Page?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it online.
Did you get
at
like
Cigar
one
Page.
of those?
I got a 5-pack of it.
Packs or,
No, it was just I got a 5-pack of it because it just looked too interesting, and I thought I would try it out. And it was, it was a 5-pack where the price per cigar was around $5.
That's
So
just a lot of name to say.
Their 5-packs. Their 5-packs really nice. I bought 4 of their 5-packs, but I bought them all of the Penn State
the Penn Standard,
broadleaf, yeah.
Yeah, which is good stuff, by the way.
Which I tried in a sampler at one point in time, and realized this is a pretty good cigar that I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
And that's the only place I've ever even seen it.
Exactly. Now, it comes from, that cigar comes from, and the Jazz Sum Kral does not, but that particular cigar comes from the Raymond Paez. It's spelled Pages, but I think it's pronounced like Paez or something like that. It comes from that factory, and I've only seen their cigars on Cigar Page. I've never seen them anywhere else, but they have a number of different blends. Yeah. And that Penn Standard is maybe one of the best ones.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's just they use that Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, or the Pennsylvania broadleaf wrapper, I guess.
Yeah.
Connecticut broadleaf grown in Pennsylvania, and it's just a taste treat is what that thing is. So,
and those cigars, they're built well.
Yes.
So I don't get much construction issues on it. Occasionally I get a cap that peels off, but you know what? It still smokes fine.
Yeah. We're reaching out to the Cigar Page guys. Terry, I know, has been corresponding with them, trying to get them on the show. So that'll be interesting. We really want them to be a sponsor on the show because we could we could do some damage for them.
This beer smells like crisp Granny Smith apple.
Well, I was hoping for crispness because this is actually called Crispy Ship. So I thought, we got a good chance of this being that sort of Pilsner with the snap on the end, right?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Pondaseta
and
Brewing.
It keeps going.
Pondaseta Brewing is from Canyon, Texas. And I thought, I'll just, where is Canyon, Texas?
Is that like by Canyon Lake?
Dries out a little bit on the end.
Yeah, Canyon's up by Canyon Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost too much at the very end of it. I like everything about it except for that very end's a little bit bitter.
A little bit. So Canyon, Texas is apparently near Amarillo.
Oh, that's not close to where I was.
So,
thinking.
That's nowhere near where I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Canyon
You're
Lake.
thinking Canyon Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. This is just Canyon, Texas. So.
You know what? I'm okay with that. That bitter on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first,
You've come around on it.
It was a little bit of a turnoff, but now after a couple sips, I'm like, you know what? That's okay. It makes me want another sip. It's got that Dorito effect.
It does, and you're right. There is a certain bitter on the end that you're not really expecting in a Pilsner, but it's kind of nice. Actually.
It's got to be these hops.
Yeah.
There is a slight sweetness to this that I truly enjoy. Mm-hmm. And it is quite literally like having a crispy slice of apple.
Right. It doesn't give you that Granny Smith tart necessarily on the palate, but it does have a little apple crisp to it.
A little bit of touch of sweetness.
If you didn't tell me this was a Pilsner, I would think this was more of a Kolsch. It's got that kind of snap to it, you know?
It does have a very German vibe to it, though, doesn't it?
There is a maltiness to it as well. You're right about that. I just kind of associate maltiness with
There's a lot
German
of body there. There's a good body there.
I would eat pretzels with
Modern Pils brewed with Barb Rogue hops.
this. Okay, so this is not a hop I'm familiar with. Are you familiar with Barb Rogue?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
It sounds like the villainous from the Barbie movie.
Oh,
is what
it
sounds
does
like.
say here on the side, according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy.
Oh, that clears that up.
And
Good.
does it also say do not drink crispy ship if you're allergic to crispy ship?
Yeah. Can you imagine if they
or
have
the
people beer
ingredients.
put that on beer?
They're going to put it on everything before
Yes.
long. I'm convinced of it.
Coming in at 5.5% alcohol. I bet this is absolutely brilliant right from the tap.
I bet it is. Yeah.
Like this is one of those where I bet
That
if
little
you're sitting
freshness
there,
to it, yeah.
and I bet that their brewery smells a lot like this. This is so good.
I like when a brewery smells like that. That's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's that smell of the hops and.
Speaking of which, somebody needs to come out with either like an incense or a room deodorizer spray that smells like it smells when you walk into a brew pub, a brewery. Yeah, just that wheat and hops and that wonderful beer smell.
Great for car air fresheners,
Yeah,
too.
can you imagine? If they'd come out with that when I was single and I'd burned that incense in my apartment, I would still be single. But I'd be enjoying the aroma. All right, we got to take a break. And we will return. There's more beer to taste, including this mystery beer that you've brought us from your home brewing experiment here.
Yes.
I'm pretty excited about that. Maybe we'll do that one next. Oh, thanks for passing the crispy ship back over. I'm glad it's a tall can. Thank you. Smoking and Toasting, we'll be right back. Okay, very well timed. The rattling was a little, intentional, but that's all right. We got it. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And we're getting some homebrew poured for us now, so I'm really excited about tasting that. But first, Terry, cue us in for the Drunken Fact.
And now it's time for another Smoking and Toasting Drunken Fact.
There was a show, by the way, like a month or two ago, where I forgot to do the Drunken Fact, and we actually had people emailing saying that they missed the fanfare. They didn't miss the fact. They didn't say anything
Just the
about,
fanfare.
the thing
Where's
that
the
I
fanfare?
scoured the internet to try and find. No, they missed the fanfare. So here we go. All right, Drunken Fact is one that you can share when you're at a party and maybe people are, imbibing a little bit and you want to come across like a person who can drop some knowledge like a hot
An
mic.
erudite, if you will.
Yep. And so here's your Drunken Fact for this edition of the show. It is against the law in the state of Washington to kill Bigfoot.
That
Wow.
is awesome.
In Washington state, there is a real-life law stating that it's illegal to kill Bigfoot and other Sasquatch-like creatures. And you know what? Good for them. I think it's good. I think we need a similar law in Texas regarding the chupacabra.
Yes.
And the jackalope.
I don't think anyone
Jackalopes,
should
chupacabras.
Yeah. And Jackalope ain't hurting nobody.
No.
You know what I mean? He's just out there riding between the
But that might scare a lot of people that already have a jackalope that they had killed and that is up hanging on their wall. So
true.
that might worry some people.
But the
There's a lot of them
jackalope,
around.
seriously, the jackalope, he ain't hurting nobody.
No.
He's out there riding between the cacti, posing for postcards.
Yep.
That's his thing. That's what he does. So the chupacabra, on the other hand, that's a vicious animal.
Yes.
But I still protect its right to live. because after all, somebody has to suck the goats, and it's not going to be me. So that's what chupacabra means. It means goat sucker.
Well,
I didn't make that up. That's a true thing.
are you suggesting that goats don't suck themselves, right?
I'm suggesting exactly that. Yes, although many have tried and probably will continue. I don't know where
Goats have such weird eyes.
I don't know where we went off the rails in this segment, but let's try to bring it. Thank you. Okay. All
It
right.
really ties the room together.
Everything's back together now. Thank you, Tara. Appreciate that. So you have brought us a home brew that looks absolutely hazy and delicious. Tell me what we're drinking here.
This is a hazy IPA.
Awesome. So you heard me kind of complaining last week that out of all the beers you guys brought, there were no IPAs,
No
right?
IPAs.
Yeah.
So
It's like a brewery that Ian likes. No IPAs.
Yes.
Yeah.
so there's a little bit of funk on this one.
I can smell it on the nose for sure.
I mean, I'm at the risk of hurting your feelings, it smells like homemade soap.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it reminds me a little bit of Chimay.
Yes. It's got a little bit of that flavor on the nose, and it reminds me of that. What was that song? Was it an R&B song? "Grow Some Funk of Your Own"? You remember that? I just know the title. I don't remember the song. But there was a song called "Grow Some Funk of Your Own." Remember that?
Yeah.
This was
I feel
not
like you have.
this was not the intent,
Yeah.
but this is what we got.
Okay, remember last week when I said saddle blanket?
Yeah.
This has a lot of that.
And you mean that in a good way, or?
I mean that in kind of a neutral way.
Well, last week it was all a good thing. Now,
That's because this week it's with an IPA.
Yeah,
See, this is Ian's built-in bias. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not crazy about this because I like my IPAs to be just a little bit sweeter, and this is that funk, that saddle blanket funk, is pretty dominant on this. It's interesting, and I'm definitely glad I'm drinking it, but I don't know if this is something I would go back to on a regular basis.
It definitely smells a
So,
little better once you have it on your palate.
What had happened was,
nice.
so we used one batch of yeast to start the fermentation, and it absolutely did nothing. And then so we repitched yeast on it, and these are the results we got from the combination of the two
And
yeast.
this yeast went to the other yeast and went, "Hey guys, you got to wake up."
Oh,
too."
yeah, dude, it was brutality going on in that fermenter.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is so interesting, but I almost would place it less. I realize it's got that IPA finish to it, that IPA hop finish, but I would almost place it more in the, farmhouse ale category.
I
in
would
terms of
almost call it
overall
more of a
taste.
Belgian IPA because that is
Right.
actually a style.
Because there's some fruit in here. Like, it takes a few sips to get past the saddle blanket, but then you start recognizing a little bit of fruit. I don't get banana, which is something I was kind of
Right.
expecting from the style.
Agreed.
But I get some definitely like stone fruitiness, some
Stone fruit for sure.
peach
Yeah.
or pear, things like that. And
That's the blend of Citra.
what's the ABV on this?
It's about 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's IPA territory. Yeah.
I
I don't know.
it's
I will just say
interesting.
this: the more I drink it, the better I like it.
Yeah,
too.
so
You know?
like I'm finding that same thing, and the palate, which initially had kind of turned me off a little bit, is now smelling good.
Yeah.
'Cause, like the nose is now smelling good because I have it on the palate.
It's when you have just enough of that flavor that you begin to say to yourself, you know what, we want the funk.
Yeah.
Got to have
Hit
the
me
funk.
again.
Yeah,
So it's
I'll take more
Hit
too.
me, baby, one more time.
So it's Citra and lemon drop hop. The bittering hop is El Dorado.
Okay,
So
El
it was
Dorado
really
can-
meant to be a hazy IPA.
but El Dorado can be a little funky.
That's Spanish for the Dorado, by the way.
Thank you for clearing
Yeah,
that
for the
up.
Dorado.
I
For,
appreciate that up. I'll pass this over to Terry if you want some more funk of your
I'm going
own.
to exit at the Dorado Boulevard.
Yeah, right. AJ Fernandez has a new
Oh,
world.
shout
So
Shopping at
we
that
were really
HEB
kind of
today,
we were
or
really a little
yesterday.
bit worried about this one because it was like, man, this is funky, but oh man, I kind of like
You're
it.
kind of right though. Like I didn't really like the nose, and I didn't really like the first few sips. But the more I sip it, the more
I drink it, the better it gets.
the more I like it. That's bizarre.
Yeah, and tasty at the same time. One of the things that I think like
It's a lot of saddle blanket.
One of the things I think though that this show is about is venturing into these things that don't taste just like your typical,
Yep.
IPA or your typical stout or whatever. And this is definitely, this pushes the boundaries of what an IPA can taste like, for sure.
And this will never be done again because I will not have that yeast that blew up on me.
It's like,
Did this one hit the ceiling?
No. The yeast just fell over dead.
it's almost
Of
like
course,
he left the
yeah.
cake out in the rain and he'll never
Yeah.
have that recipe again. It's kind of what it's like,
So this is what you get when you swear that this yeast that expired in 2019
Damn it, now
will
I have
actually
that
work.
in my head.
I love that.
Now I have that song in my head. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
Oh,
now
you're
I have
so
that
welcome.
slow just song
You're
in
so
my head.
welcome. All right, we got to take a break. We'll get into the second hour of the show and see if Terry is still hearing MacArthur Park in between the segments. And we also have drinking news not too far away. And it's time to do a little more tasting, including some tequila coming up. And I don't think the tequila will pair well with
Does
this.
that tequila say Elijah Craig on the little tag?
I wish it did. No,
It does.
It's Luna Azul. Oh, it does. So, that's because it was matured in Elijah Craig bourbon barrels. So I know you're going to be looking forward to this. We'll get to that in the second hour of the
Ooh,
show.
that's pretty.
Smoking and toasting. We'll be right back. All you other Slim Hazies are just imitating. Welcome back. It is Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. Ian's pouring some craft beer. In fact, we're going to, while we still have a little bit of that very interesting hazy IPA funky blend that you brought in, we're going to compare this with the Slim Hazy from Mikerphone Brewing Company, which I guarantee will be sweeter and less funky. But
The last time we had Mikerphone beer on the show, we raved about it.
we've had Mikerphone on the program a number of times, actually, and it's always been pretty good, as I recall. It's a very interesting article that I was perusing in the publication VinePair, and you can find VinePair online. It's a fabulous website to read about everything from beers and wines to spirits. They did an interesting, what I thought was an interesting article about the 13 most important American whiskeys. Now, American whiskey, or American Scotch, if you will,
I thought you saw it. I was gonna-
has really only
nose on the
existed since the 1990s. It's not something that there was, a history of, like there has been from Scotland and from Ireland with Irish whiskey.
Right.
But the first whiskey on this list was basically one of the early entries, and it was St. George Single Malt Whiskey Lot 1. And St. George Spirits started making eau de vie in 1982. There were fewer than 20 active American distilleries at the time.
Really?
Yeah. By the time master distiller Lance Winters joined in 1996, craft distilling was still in its infancy, led more by hobbyists, really, than anything. And they were more interested in experimentation than commercial success. So the first barrel of single malt St. George laid down was in 1997. And by 2000, it was ready for release. But in those days, it says here, the market for the spirit, which was then often referred to as American Scotch, barely existed. It would take nearly a quarter of a century for American single malt to gain federal recognition as a spirits category. Other influential, important American whiskeys, the 2002 George T. Stagg, which was introduced in 1999 as the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. Sazerac 18-year-old rye was in it. Eco Rare 17-year-old bourbon was in it. And William LaRue Weller 19-year-old bourbon. When George T. Stagg was launched in 2002, it didn't join the lineup so much as burst its way in, the article says, a la the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
So first edition clocked in at 15 years old and a whopping 137.6 proof. Woo. Yeah, so that's a pretty big deal.
It's coming in hot.
Linnell's Red Hook Rye Barrel, number 1, released in 2006 when Newsweek was covering the craze for pricey sipping whiskey. And what's interesting about this bottle is it's got like the arm with the bicep and a tattoo, and it's called Red Hook Rye. And that's one I've never seen before. So you might want to take a look around for that if you can find it. It might be interesting. Then there's High West Rendezvous Rye.
Rendezvous specifically.
Rendezvous, right, which came out in 2007. You can still find this, they say, on many a retail shelf, and it proved to be a pretty big hit. Now, this next one, I have a bottle of this in my bar right now. It's Maker's Mark 46.
Yes.
Introduced in 2010. It's a cask strength whiskey, and it's really, really delicious. Now, the
Maker's
next
Mark's
one,
always been one of my favorites.
yeah. The next one of my absolute favorite, and I still think back fondly to the bottle of this that Ian gave me after he visited the distillery. But it's the Angel's Envy Kentucky Straight Bourbon finished in port wine barrels. Mm-hmm. That is just absolutely fantastic. Angel's Envy wasn't the first bourbon finished in another type of cask, but it became kind of the standard bearer.
Yeah.
The standard bearer for that. E.H. Taylor Jr. Small Batch Bottled in Bond Bourbon makes the list. It was released in 2011. And again, the Buffalo Trace people involved there. And Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, also released in
I have
2011.
both of the last two bottles you said.
Do you have a
on my shelf.
Michter's US 1 toasted barrel finish bourbon?
I do not.
That bottle just looks so delicious, just sitting there in the photo. And Kings County Empire Rye. I'm not familiar with this.
I don't know that at all.
Released in 2015. It's a triumph of homegrown whiskey. It began as a collaboration between Black Button Distilling, Copper Sea Distilling, Finger Lakes Distilling, Kings County Distillery, New York Distilling, and Tuthilltown Spirits, which that almost sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. You know, when you get
So many chefs.
that many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah, but apparently it worked out really well. And then Little Book Chapter 1, The Easy from 2017. That's pretty exciting. A Little Book is always exciting. I have what happens to me with Little Book is every time I get one, I drink it until there's about that much left, like an inch or less left
And then
in the
you
bottom.
hoard it.
And then I hoard it. Then I don't drink it. So I've got all these little books, but almost no whiskey. And then Russell's Reserve 13-year-old bourbon, released in 2021. You're a big Russell's Reserve fan,
I
aren't
like the
you?
Russell's Reserve, yeah.
How about Jack Daniel's 10-year-old Tennessee whiskey?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've tried
We know how we feel about the old number 7.
I don't know if I've tried the 10-year-old.
But the other Jack Daniel's blends we've tried, we're pretty high on.
It's a funny thing. As much as I'm not a big fan of the old number 7, everything else they make,
Yeah.
even from the same distillate,
Right.
is brilliant.
Yeah.
So good. They're bonded. They're
Yeah, the wife got me a
Gentleman
bonded
Jack.
bottle of Jack Daniels.
yeah,
and,
it's great.
oh man, and it's like I haven't been able to find it again.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll find on shelves. Look around, but yeah, the bonded. There's also the triple mash. I think there's
You know, just talking about this gave me a great idea for a show. We should have a number of our whiskey fans and whiskey experts. We have several of them on the show. We should have just this whole group of 5 or 6 guests, and everybody bring their personal favorite bottle that they have right now. Wouldn't that be a fun show?
Yeah.
Mostly because we'd get to drink all their whiskey, which is, I just love that idea. I absolutely love that idea.
Take you
Anyway,
a week to recover from it.
Vinepair.com is the place to go to read that article and other ones that are really worth your while if you're interested in
I
reading
like
about
how they
spirits.
take the kind of historic context of it, even though it's
Yeah.
a short history, but this is the history we got so far.
Absolutely. And I think they write pretty fairly. Like they're not gushing fanboys, but they're not unduly harsh either. So I really like and enjoy reading their stuff. Speaking of things I like and enjoy, Mikerphone brewing products are something that I have a tendency to be a pretty big fan of.
Have you
That's a
taken a
good
sip of this
nose.
yet?
I have not, but boy, does it smell good on the nose. It's got citrus, orange juice, lemon for days.
Oh,
This
that's nice.
is in true microphone style. Now, microphone is spelled Miker
Right.
phone, like
It's not
one word.
microphone, it's Mikerphone.
Microphone.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Real
It really
juicy.
is, isn't it? Yeah. It's one of the juiciest IPAs I think I've ever
It's
tasted.
pretty brilliant, I have to say. It's as my cup will show you. My cup
Yep.
runneth low.
So we've had today a very funky IPA and now a very sweet and hazy IPA. and they're both just
Called Slim Hazy.
delicious in their own. I
Double
have
dry
to say,
hop pale. Oh, they say
said-
double dry hop pale ale.
oh yeah, so it's not necessarily an IPA, although I will admit to getting completely confused between what classifies as a pale ale versus an India pale ale.
Close enough.
Hops?
The level of hops.
Okay.
That's the differentiation. So how many
But
IBUs?
Oh, so it feels like there's plenty of hops in this, though.
Yeah, there's plenty of bitterness in this.
Doesn't have an IBU rating
so-
on here.
Pale ale, Indian pale ale, very closely related,
Yeah.
but it's just your IBU level. So how much bitterness is in the beer?
Is India Pale Ale or IPA, is that a pale ale? In other
Yes.
words, is pale ale the larger
yeah.
definition? And so you could actually refer to any IPA as just a pale ale if you wanted to.
Well, I mean,
There'd be people
all
that-
IPAs are pale ales, but not all pale ales are IPAs.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember when I first was exposed
And
to
is that
IPAs.
any ale that's made in a pail? I mean,
When I first was exposed to
Yeah, if
IPAs
it's made of
years
pale,
ago,
it's an ale.
I
what
basically
if you
thought,
hear a child wail?
or
I'll tell no tale.
if you hammer in a nail.
She might wail.
I want to see how far you guys go with this.
I survived to tell the tale.
I think Cruz was telling us some actual real kicking knowledge stuff over there, and we just devolved it to this. We broke it.
And what you did was so much more fun than what I was.
Yeah, this is
dropping.
coming in at 6%. This Mikerphone does it every time, though. Like, as far as I can tell, everything they make is just golden.
And this particular edition,
It's delicious.
Smoking and Toasting, has now officially set sail.
This is as much fun as envisioning what Anna Cole
in
Smith would
search
look
of
like
a-
as a transformer, and what would you do with it?
That's right. That's right. And you know, with any luck, all of us will be able to make bail. Should I
Oh,
keep going,
hail.
or should I stop? I think I should stop.
Only if you go to jail.
Yeah, Terry. Terry is looking at me like
now
We
we're
shall not post
Soltarian.
bail.
Terry was looking at me like you passed the point of no return a long time ago. So yeah, that happens. You know, wouldn't it be funny to have to try to describe this edition of the show in a way? Plus, the hosts have fun with rhyming words for tail. Drink this and get some tail. Yeah.
I mean, we're in Texas. I can get away with that.
You absolutely can. That's a good IPA. Mikerphone Brewing. Seriously, these guys know what they're doing. I don't think we've ever had a Mikerphone product that we have not raved about, and we've had them in a number of styles too.
Yeah.
Going back, several years here on the program. So
good.
So
I
it's-
think that's pretty cool.
Microphone.
Mikerphone. Yeah. Slim, and I like Slim Hazy as the title. But I will say the can's a little unassuming. Like a
It
lot of
is.
times, you have these really bizarre and
Wild
strange cans.
cans.
This
It
is
has like 3 colors on it.
right. Yeah, and it's just almost looks like just a frosty beverage, and I kind of
Yeah.
like it.
That is
like it.
damn nice.
By the way, when we're talking about beverages, you may recall that as a beverage of mystery on the show, I brought in several months ago some Michelob Ultra Zero, which is
Yes.
their
I
non-alcoholic.
tried not to recall that.
Yeah, I know. Well, I forced you to recall it when I brought it in again.
It
Yes.
was worse the second time.
Several weeks later, and it was the second time. The reason I brought it in again.
I felt a little bit like when Christopher Hart tried to make us like a Montucky cold snack the second time.
Yeah, and it was worse the second time than it
We're like,
was
this
the
is
first.
terrible beer.
Yeah,
what is
really
this?
It really is. So
really bad.
I've noticed, by the way, that like the little store downstairs in my building that has a really great beer selection for a little store. They no longer have. For a while, Montucky Cold Snack was like right there.
Everywhere,
It's
yeah.
gone now.
Oh,
like they are no
it's
longer.
been through its thing.
Yeah. So I have a feeling the Montucky Cold Snack craze has abated,
Oh.
and I'm.
And people
I'm happy
realize
about
that
it.
it's crappy beer.
Yeah, and I'm happy about it. Yeah. So, but my point about the Michelob Ultra was, in order to get it for the beverage of mystery, I had to buy a 12-pack. So that was the
Yes.
reason I brought it on a second time, because I'm like, there's a 11-pack in here of this non-beer beer, and so I'll try it on us again. Well, I left it in the office refrigerator, and I'd just like to report that as of this week, as of show number 457, there's a third one gone.
What?
Someone
At this rate,
Someone drank one.
at some point
You know
in time in late March,
I think
Yeah.
Chris had to wash some dishes.
Yeah, yeah,
that whole thing might be gone.
yeah. We'll see. I predict it's going to last long past its due date.
Wow.
So yeah, but that's the way it is right now. There's another one gone. So now it is officially a 9-pack.
Yeah, check the camera, see who took it. Let's go.
Yeah, all right, we'll do that, and we'll be back. It's Smoking and Toasted. Drinking News is not far away. Ooh, nice.
Pretty sound.
It's Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars, and sound effects that make you salivate.
right.
Those as well. Ian just did that for me with the popping of the tequila bottle. We haven't talked about this on the show for a while. We used to talk about it all the time. But you will notice, Ian, that I cleared not only the plastic wrap, but some of the waxy buildup from the top of this bottle of tequila.
Well, that way I don't have to actually wield a knife
right.
to open this.
Right.
And you know what?
Kind of looks like you chewed the wax off the bottle, Cruz.
Well, it's kind of like
and
that.
then and then I don't have to worry about cutting myself like that. And then you cleared the neck, so you notice this
there was no
the area is
spillage.
clean.
Yeah.
There's no spillage
No
whatsoever.
spillage, yeah.
So I
Perfect.
do appreciate you going through those efforts whenever you bring a bottle.
He did do good with the knife, but Ian does have a Crocodile Dundee style knife
totally
that he
does.
usually uses to
totally
open those
does.
things. So
Well,
that's why
you want to show
the
off your
roughness with that.
knife that you use to skin crocodiles.
Oh, you guys are gonna laugh at this because every once in a while I trade out my
Oh
knife.
my gosh, he brought a Swiss Army knife today.
Oh,
The cleaver.
that looks like it's designed for like cutting a human being's
wow.
That's called
liver
a sheep's
out.
foot blade.
It's called what?
A sheep's foot. Because of the way it's shaped.
Is that what a
Wow.
sheep's foot is shaped like?
Yes.
I haven't spent a lot of time around sheep like others who apparently have here.
Or knives that are
when-
shaped
This
like
is a little
sheep's foot.
MKM.
This
I really like
this
this.
is what
This
it looks like when sheep have knives for feet.
Okay,
That's
I
right.
understand.
And sheep foot.
Yeah. And you want to avoid those sheep.
This
at
is
all
made
costs.
in Maniago, Italy, from Maniago Knife Company. This is a town known in Italy for making knives.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was known for sheep.
Wow.
It's pretty interesting. But I like this
Sheep
little
with
knife.
knives.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
sheep with
adorable.
knives.
It's blue
Sheep
and
with-
orange.
A town
Knife.
that's
And it has
known in
this
Italy for
cool
making
looking
knives.
blade on it.
Yeah. I like the towns that are known in Italy for making like wine and
Spaghetti, pasta.
spaghetti. Thank
yeah.
you.
You
Yes,
know,
exactly.
Mafia's
yeah.
got to get their knives
Carbonara,
from somewhere.
Yeah.
That type
Well,
of
somebody
thing.
had to make knives so they could go get the spaghetti and the.
Okay.
And cut it up.
Yeah, it's just like it's tough when you got to harvest that wild
Cut it up.
spaghetti with no knife.
Yes.
So yeah, I get it. By the way, Smoking and Toasting wants to extend our official congratulations to Westbound and Down Brewing Company out of Colorado.
Oh yeah.
They just won a near record 7 medals at the Great American Beer Festival,
Nice.
including Brewery of the Year.
Wow.
So congratulations. And what's interesting is they're now, instead of like resting on their laurels, they're now attempting to take this moment that they've been recognized in such a huge way to lure in investors and execute an ambitious expansion plan that aims to ultimately make Westbound and Down a national brand.
Nice.
And,
Good for them.
and we've had a Westbound and Down brew on the
Yes.
show before, and as I recall, we absolutely loved it. But they captured 3 gold medals, 2 silver medals, and 1 bronze for their
Wow.
beer at the Great American Beer Festival.
I mean, that's a record.
The
That's got to
Gabbard.
be the
Yeah.
most
They're
by
in where,
anyone.
Colorado?
A 7th medal was won for being named Brewer of the Year for breweries that are between 5,000 and 15,000 barrels per year. The all-time record at the festival is actually 8 medals, which was won by Indiana-based Sun King Brewing back in 2011. But it's really a big deal because every brewery submits to this, right?
Yes.
This is not a small
GABF is
deal.
the
It's
Olympics
kind of
of beer.
the
or
crowning
whatever.
achievement, sure. Of it. So if you're named Brewery of the Year by GABF, that's a pretty big deal.
I mean,
No,
our sponsor.
speaking of big deals,
yeah.
you know, if you're not out at November Fest this weekend,
Oh, okay, there you go.
yeah, you're missing out
There you
on
go.
all the
Well, you know,
fun.
Now we know why you came
Our,
back in.
our sponsor for the beer, our beer sponsor this month,
Our show beer sponsor, yeah.
Eureka
Eureka
Heights,
Heights,
won a gold at GABF. For,
Which beer was it for? Do you remember?
That was for Buckle Bunny for cream.
Buckle
Ale.
Bunny, which is such a good cream.
And
ale.
it is such a good beer, and it did them
really is.
great. You know.
Oh yeah, it was great for them. It really pumped up their recognition and their sales. Westbound and Down was founded in 2015 in Idaho Springs, which is a city alongside Interstate 70, about 32 miles west of Denver, with a population of about 1,800 residents, about 1,200 of which I think work at the brewery. And the city hails itself as the place where the gold rush began. Which is kind of a cool, romanticized type thing. But anyway, huge congratulations to Westbound and Down. We really like that brewery, and I would love if they became kind of like Sam Adams or Shiner is, a sort of nationally recognized brand that you can find. Because when I moved from Houston to Boston back in the 90s, I was able to find I was able to find Shiner Bock in Boston, and then of course Sam Adams you can find.
You can buy
anywhere.
Shiner Bock in the northernest part of Minnesota.
That's pretty cool.
In International Falls, you can find Shiner Bock, and I think that's awesome.
You can find Sam Adams in every airport across the U.S.
Which is, one of the only things that makes airports bearable.
They also had Sam Adams on the big boat that I was on this past week.
I bet they did. I bet you had some.
I had some Sam Adams.
So this tequila that you poured for us that you
mentioned. I
mentioned.
also put a serious dent in their Woodford Reserve.
Like, damn, we had more Woodford Reserve when this cruise started. I don't know what happened. Ian, this tequila that you poured for us from the bottle that you...
produced from 100% Blue Weber Agave, Luna Azul Primera Extra Gold Tequila is aged to perfection in none other than Elijah Craig bourbon barrels. And I have to tell you, after the first sip of this...
Yeah.
Vanilla on this.
It's brilliant. It's so good.
All right. We got to talk more about this when we come back. And we'll also be getting into drinking news. So we got a lot to cover in our next segment, including our final beer, which is a barley wine with pumpkin.
Let's see if I'll drink it floating down the river.
All right. We will get back to you on this next. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And
fine spirits.
We got to talk about this tequila.
This
just a
tequila
little
is
more.
outrageously good.
Yeah. Luna Azul.
Luna Azul Primero Extra Anejo. So I'm assuming they aged it like normal and then put it in Elijah Craig barrels, although they might be in Elijah Craig barrels the entire time. But whatever it does, it is a little bit of magic coming in at 40%.
And here's the amazing thing about this, because this is a delicious tequila. I don't know if I would say that I like it better than my favorite Jose Cuervo Reserva de la Familia, but it gets really close. Like, it's climbing up into that
This is
strata.
outrageously good. What was the price on this?
Well, that was why I was about to bring it up, because
probably don't tell
Luna
anybody if it's
Azul Extra Anejo or Anejo Extra Tequila, depending on where you buy it, right around $60 for the bottle.
Not bad.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm seeing one here online for $40.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. So this is a tequila that when you taste it, you're expecting it to be one of those ones that when you go to your favorite liquor store, they have locked in a cabinet on the end.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
like
that's
after
not
the
the
first
case.
sip of this, plus the
120.
bottle looks really nice, plus the Elijah Craig association.
The
If you'd
Elijah
have told
Craig,
me,
I thought, would have added $20 just there.
if you would have told me this was $120, I wouldn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
Telling me this is $60-something dollars,
Yeah. Or even less.
this is going on my shelf. Did you pick this up here in town?
I got it at Specs, and it was right around
All
50
right.
to $60.
Yeah, so I'm picking this up. This is.
I'll be
one
honest
of-
with you. I like a really good sipping tequila.
Me too.
This is definitely, you're wasting your time if you're going to do it as a shooter or you're going to throw it in a margarita.
Oh, no.
This is perfect,
By the
neat
way,
tequila.
Look,
Luna
there's-
Azul Blanco makes a wonderful margarita.
Yeah, there's a lot of great tequilas out there that are really perfect for that.
And if you want to
mixing.
splurge and do the reposado, I mean, even better, you know?
Yeah.
And not much more expensive. So, I'm just saying,
This
Luna
is
Azul
this
got
is
it
a
going on.
brilliant tequila. It's absolutely fantastic. I will definitely have this.
Speaking of
So
brilliant,
good.
I think it's time we get into a little drinking news. What do you say?
Now is the time.
Let's do it now.
Drinking news, drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news. A Florida man with one arm said he had a gator for a pet. When asked about his absent arm, he said,
Taking my gator to the vet.
drinking news, drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news.
Cheers, y'all. You know, when it's not word for word, it's even better. Yeah. That's just the way. That's just the way. I look
We
at
forgot to even give him the line.
Well, he's done it
love it.
before,
Yeah.
so I thought I said, "Can you do it again for us?"
I'm old. I forget shit.
His alias is Jerry Hattrick.
Yes,
Mark that.
Jerry Hattrick. There's a reason.
Mark the swear there for Adam to edit out. Thank you.
Oops.
Yeah. Well, now that we're on broadcast radio, we have to behave ourselves, which is kind of sad, actually. But it's nice to be on broadcast radio. Well, thank you for joining us for another edition of Drinking News. And before we get to our main story for today's broadcast, we first have, and Terry, I didn't remind you about this before the show, but I sent you that sound effect of breaking drinking news. Do we have that?
Yes. You know what?
Is it something you can pull up quickly?
It's something
or?
I can pull up, moderately quickly if you could.
I'll start over. And before we get to our main story on today's Drinking News, we first have...
Oh, did it work? Hang on, it's...
That's pretty good.
Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Here it is.
Before we get to our main story for today's broadcast, we have breaking drinking news. For our listeners who may be on Interstate 59, just north of Heidelberg, Mississippi, be on the lookout for, and I'd love to have made this up, but I didn't. Escaped monkeys that may still be on the loose.
Whoa.
Now, admittedly, this story may not involve drinking, but it does involve monkeys, which is actually almost better. According to reports, a truck transporting a group of monkeys on Highway 59, about 100 miles from the state capital of Jackson, overturned, and at least 6 of the monkeys escaped.
Poor monkeys.
Now, while there are varying reports, we've been able to ascertain that 3 of the monkeys have sadly been killed by authorities. But if, in fact, there are still 3 more, or even if there's just 1 more of these primates still on the loose, officials say not to approach them because they are, and I'm quoting here, aggressive to humans, end quote, and require special equipment and protective garments to handle them properly. Now, I have to say, here at Drinking News, we're really disappointed by this story. Not so much about the crash, but that the one time that monkeys are free and roaming our countryside, would it be too much to ask that they be fun, playful monkeys, that maybe the worst thing they could do is throw their poop at you? I mean, I would totally take that chance for an opportunity to play with a monkey. I'm just saying. But in this case, you don't want to do that because while Tulane University, which owned the monkeys before their big jailbreak, has minimalized the danger, early reports have indicated that the primates are carrying disease, including hepatitis B, COVID-19, and herpes.
Wow.
Wait,
So-
doesn't everybody already have all those?
So, as hard as it is for me
They're
to say
harmless.
this, people stay away from the monkeys.
Wow.
We'll have more on this story as it develops.
Yeah, I read an article that a woman had shot one of the monkeys trying to keep it away from her kids. So now we're down to 2.
A number of the monkeys have been dispatched, yes. But our main story on today's Drinking News is a reminder of 2 things. It's a reminder that the holiday season, which seems to begin with Halloween now, is upon us once again. And it's a reminder that if you're looking for stories of ridiculous crime, look no further than the Sunshine State. Because that's where a Florida man,
Oh, my God.
31-year-old Aaron Thompson, decided that he wasn't quite yet in the holiday spirit this year, and he took out his frustration on cucurbita pepo, which is the scientific name for pumpkins. Police say that our Florida man came out at night, several days before Halloween, and destroyed about 80 pumpkins that were stored in front of a Target store in the Tampa Bay area.
I'll show those pumpkins who's boss.
Cops told reporters that a security camera recorded Thompson picking pumpkins out of the boxes located in the front of the store and smashing them on the ground around 1:15 a.m. on October 21st. Now, Thompson, in true Florida fashion, actually returned to the scene of the crime several days later during business hours, because that's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Target employees recognized him from the footage and called the police. Officers showed him the tape and casually asked him if he could identify the person smashing the pumpkins in the
buddy,
video.
is that you? Is that you,
To
little
which he
buddy?
reportedly replied, "Yeah, it's me."
So original.
When they asked him why he destroyed so many of the store's decorative gourds, he stated that he did it because, and I'm quoting, "someone was messing with him on Facebook and it made him mad."
To hell with the pumpkins.
Yeah.
I guess that explains it. Officers say he was unapologetic about his actions and told them after smashing those pumpkins, he left the scene to go home and go to sleep. The arrest report lists Thompson's occupation as a violinist. I'm not sure why that's funny, but it kind of is. The pulverized pumpkins.
I mean, I feel like there's a band joke in here.
Yeah.
There's something there.
The
I just
pulverized
can't quite
pumpkins
sense
were
it.
worth $472.14.
How much?
$472.14.
Now, if he'd have just paid that, would he have
according
been
to the
arrested?
police. Well, that's an interesting question because
It's
with
just a store.
he was charged with felony criminal mischief, and he's being held in the county jail in lieu of a $5,000 bond.
Oh.
Now, if that
Bond
seems
bigger than the pumpkins.
if that seems like a lot for smashing around $500 worth of lumpy orange vine fruit, it's probably because his rap sheet also includes convictions for
It's
burglary,
more than I'd pay
battery,
for smashing pumpkins.
trespass, criminal mischief, and reckless driving. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Now, listen, although this is not necessarily a story with a happy ending, in fact, you could even refer to it as melancholy and the infinite sadness.
Yes.
Think of family. Yeah. You realize how far I had to go.
So they said
I was
to
wondering
when
when you were going to go
They
there.
said his
Yeah.
bail.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
They
right.
set his
love that.
bail at the same price as
Yeah.
a concert ticket.
Yeah, he said it was kind of. He said it was almost like he was in some sort of Siamese dream, and he just that was
He
what
was
he.
a long
I thought he
for
would
this.
have something against Big Baldy.
Yeah, he probably did. Look, although this is not necessarily a story with a happy ending. I mean, think of the families who had to go pumpkinless for Halloween thanks to his cruel
Or
efforts.
had to go to another store
Yeah.
and get their pumpkin.
It is nonetheless a tale which is done.
Have you ever seen a store run out of pumpkins?
No,
I never have. Either.
I would love to have seen this happen.
I've seen it where
just
they
to-
only have the ugly, warty ones, though.
Yeah. Well, even though this is not a story that ended happily, it is nonetheless a tale which has done what many drinking news stories do, and that is that it has left me just a little bit inspired. And when inspiration strikes, I like to express myself, as many of you have the misfortune of already knowing, by composing a few verses of poetry or prose. You know, I kind of feel like it adds a bit of a classy touch to the story. Because after all, what's classier than poetry, am I right? And so with great
Hey,
pride,
Class, just join up for us there.
yeah, and with great pride and only a little trepidation, I would like to share my poetic musings with you now. I'm so thankful that you're already bringing me a little poetry reading music. And it goes a little something like this. A Facebook post left him quite rankled. So the pumpkins he smashed at all angles. But he couldn't make bail, so he still sits in jail, where each day he hears this: grab your ankles. Reporting live from the
That
Target
was
in Florida.
amazing.
Reporting live from the Target in
Grab your
Florida that was the scene of the crime, where I just stepped in some really gross
Poetry
orange
on this
ooze.
show is awesome.
Yeah, my name is Cruz, and that is your.
Drinking news. Drinking news. Go ahead.
That's
Now
our
it's
time for drinking news. Cheers, y'all.
Wow.
I
Holiday
try.
season full in swing.
I try for a little like Barry White effect on the cheers, y'all. You know, women everywhere swooning
Yes.
as we speak.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
about to throw my panties at you.
Yeah. I'm wondering if you might do that after
It's a
this
lot
beer.
to heave there, Ian.
Because this beer is a barley wine with pumpkin. And I know that you're a barley wine fan.
I know
but-
you have questions about this barley wine.
Speaking of holiday season,
The answer is
pumpkin.
I would drink this floating down the river.
Okay, well, I'm good. My questions have now been answered. What are we talking about here? This is a barley wine that is actually called
Barrel aged pumpkin barley wine ale.
It's actually called Caution Contains Real Pumpkin. That's the name of the
Yes.
beer.
It's brewed with 200 plus pounds of real pumpkin, cinnamon, and Madagascar vanilla beans.
It's actually quite good, but I have to say, I got to give huge props to Voodoo Brewing Company because the idea seems a little risky to me. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we got this really good,
Delicious.
we got this really good barley wine. What if we infuse it with pumpkin? You know, it seems like you could really mess up a good barley wine.
I mean, it could have also
they
been.
didn't. They
it could
didn't.
have also been. Barley wine's a little off. What are we going to do with it? Pumpkin to cover up anything. I don't know. You know, to be honest, it doesn't really matter because this is freaking delicious.
it really
It
is
is
good.
good.
You would drink this floating down the river. For sure.
100%. I would. You can't bring a bottle like this down the river, so I'd have to pour it in my Camelback.
Does it say what the ABV is on this?
11.3.
Oh, God, that's all. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I got to say, this is delicious.
We'll be making the Texas Florida news after this.
I'm only having one bottle.
Yeah. All right. So interesting. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm now going to try going back to the extra anejo tequila from Luna Azul
That's a strange idea.
after the pumpkin barley wine.
Okay. Weirdly enough, I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Weirdly enough, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like a vanilla with a slight chocolate moussey
A
kind
little
of thing.
bit of cinnamon in there, vanilla,
Yeah.
cinnamon,
Bring it on,
a
bring
little
it
bit of chocolate moussey.
Look what we just did.
I just said a little bit of chocolate moussey. You can tell we've had a bit to drink on today's show.
moussey.
Yeah, chocolate moussey.
Chocolate
you know, hey
With
kids,
We're all
it's
moosey
chocolate
goosey.
moussey.
With some mashy taters.
Well, first of all, this tequila is just.
The
wonderful.
tequila's brilliant.
I don't know if we talked enough about how great
Oh,
this tequila
it's so
is.
good. It is so good.
Oh, God. Go out and get a bottle now.
Okay,
Buy them
this is
all.
Luna Azul Extra Anejo, and I'm telling you, if you have to pay $60 for it, it's worth every penny.
It brings a touch of pepper to it as well. Just a touch
Yeah.
of the
Oh, I get that.
agave kind of pepper that you get. It's
Right.
really good. When you go back to the barley wine,
You get more of that.
it's
more,
more
of
of
that syrupy.
yeah, it's more of a pumpkin
mapley.
beer now.
Yeah.
You lose a little bit of the barley wine and get more of the pumpkin, but it still tastes great.
Yeah, with the tequila, the beer, yeah, I get that more of that maple and barrel flavor.
I think that the pumpkin barley wine ale is better before you go to the tequila, but it's still pretty good when you come back.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back to wrap things up. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. By the way, just to bring things full circle, I'd like to go back to the teaser headline that we had for the Drunken Fact. And you guys kind of looked at me funny when I said it, but what I said was, whatever you do, don't shoot at the grainy guy in the costume. And then the Drunken Fact was about how it's illegal to kill Bigfoot
Yes.
in Washington State. So
Yes.
now does the grainy
It
guy in
makes
the
sense
costume
now.
make
It
sense?
makes
to you?
sense because, there are all the pictures of,
I feel like I had to explain the joke, and when you explain the joke, it never makes it funnier.
it's usually more funny.
Yeah. No.
You know, it's a weird thing because explaining the joke never makes it funnier, but telling it again
Oh, yes.
and again
And again.
And again.
and again
Yeah.
makes it funnier
Yeah.
each time.
Incrementally. Jokes become
But-
incrementally funnier the more often
That's
that
from
they
the
go.
dad's book of
Grainy guy
jokes
in
and
the
how
photo.
to tell them.
Yeah, exactly.
Dad's book of jokes and how to tell them.
If I could find that, I would totally give that to my dad for Father's
Do
Day
you know
next
why?
year.
Do you know why cannibals don't eat clowns?
Why?
Because they taste funny.
Oh, where's a rim shot?
yeah.
I don't even have a rim shot over here for this. Come on now.
Maybe the fanfare will do.
Yeah,
so
okay,
you
we'll
can,
do fanfare for you
yeah.
for that one. Then.
I think that will work. So we've had some really interesting things on today's show. This tequila obviously is a kind of a revelatory surprise at the $40 to $50 to $60 price range that you can find it for. Worth it at any of
Azul.
Yeah, worth it.
One word, extra añejo after
Worth it really at any of those price points. And then we had this really interesting and amazing pumpkin barley wine ale. And then what you brought us was this really hard to classify funky IPA.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of funky IPAs. You can get some that are so hoppy that you might accuse them of being funky, but funk isn't really the right word. They're just kind of like over hopped.
It was crazy because it was funky and it was saddle blanket and it was all kinds of crazy stuff. And the first sip, I wasn't really impressed with, but then I liked it more and more as I drank it. It was very strange.
Same here. It was totally strange. And I'm the IPA guy, but at first I was like, all right, this is not really my favorite kind of IPA. And I was kind of poised to think, not for me. And then, like Ian said, the more I sipped it, the more I'm like,
It was a grower, not a shower.
Yes, there's something really, really going on here. And,
There's
and I
something
kinda
about the
like
way
it.
you said that. It makes
Yeah,
it.
and it really, really is just perfect for this show where we've gone off on so many ridiculous detours. The way I look at it, though, I'll get home today and my wife will say, "How was the show?" And I'll go, "You know what? It was really good." Because to me, those detours are what makes it work.
When your wife asks, "What was the show about?" And what was the show about? I don't know.
I have no idea, but we had a great time, and my business partner just refers to it not as Smoking and Toasting, but as the Drinking Show.
Drinking show.
Yeah, and he's
Smoking and Toasting, a.k.a.
the Drinking Show. Yeah. And this might be a good time to remind you: do not listen to Smoking and Toasting if you are allergic to smoking and toasting.
Or any of the ingredients that it contains.
That's right. That's right. So, Ian,
Also, allergy warning, contains nuts.
yeah, good to know. Good to know. What was your favorite beverage today that we had on the show?
So it's really tough between the tequila and the barley wine. I don't know.
You're a barley wine fan.
I love barley
We'll
wine.
just
This
have
is
to
a good
keep
barley
sipping
wine.
both of them back and forth to see which one.
To try and figure out, because
Yes.
it's important that you be
Yes.
able to figure out which one was best.
I mean, this barley wine is pretty outrageously good.
It's not as pumpkin-y as I was expecting, given the packaging and the orange wax and all of that.
But it's also
pumpkin's definitely there.
It's
don't
also
get me wrong.
not pumpkin flavor. It's pumpkin.
Right.
And it's very authentic tasting, and I love that it has a little bit of that in there. But I also love that the barley wine is very obvious.
And it's also not pumpkin in the sense that, like a lot of pumpkin beers are better described as pumpkin pie.
Yes.
Pumpkin
yes.
spice.
Have you ever had a?
They
have you
have
ever
that
had a good-
spice. Yeah, absolutely.
Pumpkin spice.
Have you ever had a good pumpkin soup?
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's savory.
Yes,
It's not,
absolutely.
It's not sweet.
This is like the beer
Pumpkin-
that
pumpkin's
David
really
Pumpkin
delicate.
would drink.
Yeah.
If you know David Pumpkin, he would drink that. Nobody catches a Tom Hanks reference.
It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to catch
I
it.
think we were largely ignoring you.
Yeah.
The tequila
normal.
is just doing
That's normal.
wonderful things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say, I have interviewed. We're speaking of Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing
I
Pumpkins?
have interviewed Billy Corgan
The head
before.
pumpkin himself?
The head pumpkin himself, and I will say, contrary to what I was expecting and what I've learned from the media, he was actually quite nice and,
Was he?
and answered all the questions in a very, very cool and orderly fashion. So
Nice.
I was, but then again, he was there to promote his album, so maybe he
Yeah,
was
I
just
mean,
in that.
Yeah, but then
be a
again,
nice
that's all
guy
right. I mean,
headspace.
some people have bad stories because they approached them when they were on the street in L.A. as opposed to when they were on tour trying to
Sure,
promote
right.
their album. And they're like,
Well-
he was horrible to me when I came up to him at the restaurant, but he was really nice to me when I interviewed him.
I can tell you this.
I like that really translates to when I went up and bothered him while he had a mouthful of steak.
Yeah,
Right.
He
Yeah.
said, "Man, if you don't mind, I'm just trying to have lunch right
Yeah,
now."
Right, right.
exactly.
Well, I can tell you.
Or did he say?
I can tell you, and I say this as a music fan. Smashing Pumpkins have the honor of, I've seen them twice, and they have the honor of being one of the best and one of the worst concerts I've ever seen.
I kind of get that. I've seen
Yeah.
them, but yes,
I saw
they were.
them in Chicago before right before Siamese Dream came out.
Oh, okay.
And it was one of those little theaters. It was like a small, like old school theater that had no air conditioning, and I sweated through every layer of clothing I was wearing. But they were amazing. They like blew my mind and became one of the greatest shows I've ever seen.
Wow.
Then I saw them after they became huge. I saw them in Houston at what I call the Joel Osteen Arena, which is in fact the Summit, and before it got religion.
Yeah.
And I saw them there, and it was one of the worst shows I've ever seen.
Wow.
They sleepwalked through their big hit at the time, 1979, like they could just care less about it, but they had to perform it.
What was that, about
And it was
97, 98, something like that?
Yeah, right around there.
I know what you're talking about. I was at that show.
I was working at the Buzz at the time, and it was not a great show. It really wasn't.
I'm trying to think of the other bands that were there. Because they weren't the only one. There was a couple of good bands.
Similar to your story, the loudest show that I've ever been to in my life was Motorhead.
Yeah.
Why does that not surprise me?
Until I went to a show that was even louder than that Motorhead show, and it was a Motorhead show.
Yeah.
Proving that everything is actually louder than everything else.
They were the loudest show
They were
ever.
so
It was
loud.
amazing.
Loudest show I've ever been to was Kiss. It was Kiss, Winger, and Slaughter. And I was working for a radio station at the time. This is back in the 90s. I was working for a radio station.
Was it in the 90s
Yeah,
with Kim
really?
Slaughter and
Yeah.
Winger? Really?
I was working with a radio station. We had winners who won the chance to go backstage and meet Kiss, meet the band, right? And it was my job to escort the winners backstage, which I did, and the guys in Kiss were awesome. They were very cool, and they signed stuff, but there was only a certain amount of time allotted for that. This was before the show started, right? I think maybe Slaughter was on stage. As I was leading the people back out after the whole meet and greet, we passed by this area backstage where Winger was doing a photo shoot. And
Are you talking about Kip Winger,
Yes.
bro?
yes, Kip Winger and his band, who were huge at the time, right?
Yes.
And I remember walking by and noting that it was one poor girl's job to hold the fan that was blowing back Kip Winger's hair.
Yes.
Amazing.
Must hold it in the perfect place.
There's my
Amazing.
rock and roll story for
Hey,
the
dude,
week.
fan bearers are just not in as much demand these days. But what a noble trade.
Wow.
Have a
Loudest-
great week, everybody.
Loudest show I ever went to,
Yeah?
Henry Rollins with Black Flag.
Oh, my God. I bet that was loud.
In 83, in a little house across the street from Numbers,
Well, gosh.
there was not a wall that survived.
We are so over time, but that was great. We have to include it in the show. Thanks and have a great week, my friends. We'll see you next week on Smoking and Toasting.
Don't
Cheers,
forget
cheers,
to
y'all.
come to November Fest.
Cheers, y'all.